Hello and welcome to another sit down video. I've got a bubble in my throat. Trying something a little bit different on the setup front. Normally I'm over there, but we have a skylight and I saw in my stomach diagnosis video, the lighting changing in and out was just less than ideal, and being OCD as I am, that was just painful to edit. So we're gonna try this. We're probably still gonna have problems because today it doesn't know whether it wants to rain, be sunny, be cloudy, overcast, whatever. So in today's video, I'm finally gonna crank down on the whole Q&A because I was really taken aback by how many people had actually asked me questions because I had been putting off this video. My low self-esteem made me feel like no one would ask me any questions, but you lovely people have. So cheers if you went on Instagram and you left a question, because that has ultimately led me to being able to do this video. We'll start with Lisa. She has asked me, what's the best thing to cheer you up when you feel like you're not enough? Oh, that's such a heavy question. When I'm feeling low or not feeling great, I absolutely love a bath. I tend to have like my everything bath once a week, and I scrub my fake tan off and wash my hair and like do the whole shebang. And after that, I feel reborn. I feel so good. I feel lovely and clean. I then put fake tan on straight afterwards, but just being able to like set my iPad up on the toilet, got a big old drink, and I'm in my bath, you know, my human soup. Some people think baths are disgusting, but I bloody love a bath. I really do. And I find it a bit of me time. I'm also doing stuff to make me feel better, shaving my legs, washing my hair, putting on a face mask, hair mask. It's just, it makes me feel good. So I'd probably, lean towards that. Brogan has said, will you be returning to the parks anytime soon? So I'm assuming we're talking about Disney, and yes, we will be. We are going back. I'll probably, I have got a Disney video up in the works. But yes, we are going back to Disney for Christmas again. We were actually going to go to Disneyland, California in April, May time this year, but Andrew's work, it didn't quite work out. He was going to be helping a client with a podcast in LA, and I was going to fly with him, and it was going to be for a couple of days, but then we were just going to make it into a bit of a holiday and go to Disneyland for like 4 days. It ended up going to New York instead, and it was different dates, and Andrew was doing a different job then. So it just, long story short, it didn't quite work out. But Disneyland California is really just up there, a bucket list for me, because that was the original Disney park. I just really want to experience that at least once. That's just, But no, going back to your question, yes, we are going back in December. I feel like when we did our honeymoon, which was again last Christmas, and doing America, obviously like Florida, Disney World, Christmas, like there is so much going on. I feel like you get more bang for your buck. But also it's like Christmas and Disney, like, and how the Americans do it is just top drawer. So we're going back again. I feel like we took our honeymoon in our stride. It was a bit more relaxed, very bougie. So I feel like this time I want to see more of the resorts. We might hire a car for a couple of days and go and eat out of the Disney bubble. I'm gonna do Disney again at Christmas time, and like do Tiana's Bayou Adventure is gonna be amazing. I think we would like to do the candlelight processional at Epcot because we didn't do that. Although we went for like 16 days, we just didn't get everything done. And when you've got that Disney and Christmas element, they just go full on out there. There's just so much to see, and it's tiring. Like a Disney holiday is tiring. So I'm hyped to go back. And this time I will bring multiple leggings because it wasn't as hot as I thought it'd be. Brogan asked a load of questions, so I'm just going to do another one. What's your favourite thing about Disney and the parks? It's going to have to be the fact that I waited so long to go. I have wanted to go to Disney World since I was about 7, being born in 1992 myself. Back then I watched a lot of Disney movies on VHS, so the adverts that you would get before the movies in the 90s was advertisements for Disneyland, Disney World, and I was just so obsessed and wanted to go. But it's a big ask now that I know how much it costs, and even like 20 years ago how much it would have cost. Yeah, my dad taking me, my sister and my brother. I mean, it's expensive, very, very expensive. So, you know, I don't hold that against my family for not taking me at a younger age, but I think it just has made it so much more special and nostalgic to go when I did. It took me 23 years to go, but I got there and it was amazing. It was an amazing way to see Disney for the first time, because yes, I was an adult. It was before my 30th birthday, so it was just a special year. When we went with two of our closest friends, and when we came back from the trip, I turned 30 and then Andrew and I got married. So it was just a really lovely bubble, and so many memories were created that when I look back and I think about Disney and the parks, that is my first memory of Disney and the parks. I can't really pinpoint a ride or a smell or favourite park. It was the moment that I actually went to Disney for the first time, and remembering that. Yeah, I'll have to say that, I think. Joe has asked, how come you are getting your filler dissolved? Gorgeous gal, with or without. Cheers, thanks Joe. So I think it's no surprise if you follow me on Instagram and watch my vlogs that I have lost a significant amount of weight. Roughly around 20 kilograms, and that has changed the way I look, especially in my face. And I feel like it made the filler in my face look more poignant. It was even more defined. We are talking more jawline and chin here. And I just felt like I looked a bit distorted. When I got filler done initially, really, I probably just needed to lose some weight, because what I was asking for was a defined jawline, but I was carrying a lot of weight here. But we are also a family of not defined jawline genetics. So, being able to have aesthetic practitioners out there, being able to cosmetically give you what you want is great, but also dangerous, especially when, for me, having it all dissolved now, I have nothing in my face. I feel like doing a before and after, this is so much more flattering for me. I suit a round face. I didn't suit the bulkiness down here. Yes, I had that snatched jawline and, you know, it feathered into my chin, but ultimately, I just felt like I looked a bit alien-esque. So it had to go, and I'm so, so happy that it did go. Thanks, Tom. Jessica has asked, what are your initial thoughts on DAS changes for Disney? I'll be honest, Jessica. I haven't quite looked into it because I know I will go down a rabbit hole of not understanding it quite well, getting overwhelmed, upset, get into a bit of a tiz. You know, when we go back to Disney in December, it will be a really tough time. I think DAS is so fantastic, but there are people that do abuse it, and it has gotten to the point now where DAS, especially when we went last, because I didn't hear about DAS until the second time we went to Disney. My mother-in-law actually told me about DAS. And so I think over the years, it was getting progressively abused. And for someone like myself that has a stomach condition and currently going through the process of getting diagnosed as autistic, the parks are very, very overwhelming. The parks are literally like my happy place. And it's so bizarre, someone like myself that is highly anxious, highly overstimulated, can very easily get anxiety, which can play with my stomach condition. You would think that going to the parks is like hell on earth. Like, why would you do that to yourself? But it also brings me so much happiness that I've just put mechanisms in place where I know that if I'm a bit overstimulated, I just take myself away, go to somewhere a bit quieter, walk into a shop with aircon if like the heat's doing its thing and that's making me a bit overwhelmed. I do have ways of dealing with it. And that addition of DAS just transformed our time at Disney. The last time we went, there were times before that where I wasn't feeling 100% and I had to like bow out of some rides that we had set up on, like that was even on Genie Plus. I couldn't do it. They all went on the ride and that was fine, but I didn't want to go back again. You're spending so much money at Disney and your time there that having DAS meant that like I didn't have that fear of, you know, if I'm standing in a queue for 30, 40, 50 minutes and then it gets to, you know, say if it did get to that half-hour point but you still had some time to go, but I'm like, Andrew, I really don't feel right. I think I need to go to the toilet. We have to come out of that queue and that's us done. We've got to do it all again. And that's where, as I said, like DAS is amazing because we had a return time that we were given. It wasn't like how DAS works, again, like it's changed, so I don't want to tell you how it works because I haven't looked into it again. Say if it was like 50-minute wait for Peter Pan and we wanted to go on that, we would just come back in 50 minutes time to then go on that ride. And with Das, you can't book another ride until you've been on that ride. I'm feeling anxious about it. So I think I am going to have to speak to Disney and have the video call and see what my options are, because the heat does also affect my stomach as well. So pray for me. Let's hope that it's as smooth as possible. Gemma has asked, what's your favourite meal that you're enjoying cooking at the moment? I need some inspo. So Gemma, my favourite meal, and I literally cooked it last night, is a lasagna. I absolutely love doing a lasagna because I do everything from scratch. I mean, I use passata and everything for like the meat concoction, but I make my own roux and I use lacto-free milk. I'm not sure what it's called. I get half a white onion, peeled and everything, and I put a bay leaf and 3 cloves in it, and I let it marinate in the white sauce, and I add nutmeg. So I absolutely love doing a lasagna. I also like the mince I choose is turkey thigh mince. It's 7% fat, which gives it a bulk of flavour too. I add courgettes, carrots, an apple, a red apple, celery into all of it, and mixed herbs. I'm very passionate about my lasagna. The one I did last night, when I was building up the lasagna, I waited and put the white sauce at the very end. So I did my layers and then the white sauce went on the end so that it kind of went down, but also was kind of like a moussaka. Moussaka is like the thick white sauce at the top, and then it's obviously like built differently, but I liked that it kind of like had the vibe of a moussaka but was a lasagna. So the Silly Sausage Emporium asked, how did you and Andrew meet? I have been waiting to tell this story because in my stomach video I did recently, Andrew played a big part in getting my diagnosis. I was going to explain how we met, but Andrew and I met on the Pantiles in Tunbridge Wells. I had had a pretty bad breakup beforehand and I was just swearing off guys, like I didn't want to have a relationship. It wasn't fun. That relationship that I had at the time I thought was gonna go somewhere and we were gonna have children and all this, but it wasn't to be. Thankfully it wasn't, because I'm not sure it would have ended well. So hindsight is a wonderful thing. So when I met Andrew, I bumped into him as I was walking into the Forum in Tunbridge Wells because I wanted to play there. If you don't know about me, I'm self-taught piano and I studied music in Brighton for 1 year. I sing and I've self-taught piano and I've done like gigs and things like that. Those are my go-tos. Growing up in my teens and my early 20s, it was music and photography were just like my favourite things. I haven't sung in like 10 years, I'm gonna say now. So yeah, I was inquiring on how to like get on a gig and things like that. And as I was walking in, Andrew was walking out. He was a bit pissed from Unfest. Yeah, he was like, oh, we can talk about it, like meet me at the Sussex, like we'll chat. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll meet you there. And I think like an hour after that I met him and we sat down. He was quite adamant to like get me a drink and things like that, and I'm like, this is just not the vibe, like I don't need this, I just want to have a lovely conversation and just network. And I like had my girl boss hat on. He lived above a pub at that time, so I got to go behind the bar and upstairs, and he was showing me on his computer, like, because he's just like, he's a jack of all trades. Like, I don't know what Andrew can't do. He was like, knew how to do like sound engineering, lighting, he played guitar, bass, drums. He could also sing, knew how to use Logic and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, you know, cool. I'm gonna go home. And it's like, do you want to nip over to the Forum? Like I'm about to do a show or something. I can't really remember, it's so long ago. And I got to go up the stairs and go to like if you know the Forum in Tunbridge Wells, you'll know the little bit where there's like a top bit and you can like look down. Sound and lighting used to be up there, but it's now like down. And I got to see a band perform from that view. It was amazing. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I did take him up on the offer of a drink. I had a small glass of house white wine and I was crawling up the stairs to get back to my flat. If you've known me for a long time, you'll know that I am not a drinker. I don't handle drink very well, and we are talking like even like a glass of wine, like I can be paralytic, it's ridiculous. Maybe it was the following morning, texting going, look, I really enjoyed my time, like you're so lovely, but I'm not looking for anything. If you kind of like had that in mind. I don't know, I just felt like I had to say something. He was like, no, that's fine. And then I met up with him again. It was so nice to just meet someone that was local and knew everyone in that area. Kind of like know the goss and all of this, and just have that relationship with someone. But the more I got to know him, and we were just like chatting away, the more I was just like, he is so lovely, he's so genuine. I've never met anyone like him before. And then when I got back that night, I texted him going, remember when I said like I don't want a relationship or anything? I was like, you were just so incredibly lovely, and I've never met anyone like you. Like, I would happily marry you. I was very, very forward, I remember that. I probably had another drink, to be fair. And we were basically on the same page. And as I got to know Andrew, I found out that he was basically like eyeing me up for like a good 2 months since I had like, I don't know how long I'd been living there. And he saw me with like the boyfriend I had before, walking Luna up and down the Pantiles. And I knew a friend of his, and she kind of told him that, oh no, she's in a relationship with someone. He was like, oh, I really like her though. Like, she just seems so lovely. And yeah, he was ogling at me from afar. And yeah, 11 years later, we're now married, living in Norfolk. We've got 3 sausage dogs. I mean, that is just trimming the fat off of so much that I can tell you. I will be honest, it has not been an easy ride, our relationship. He's gone through the whole of my stomach diagnosis, several mental breakdowns. He was there when obviously like my dad passed. I then went through like a really, really bad spell after that. And just basically, not to be depressing, but didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be myself. He stuck around for all of that, and he's still here. He is a wonderful soul, and I'm so, so thankful to have him. Yay for Andrew. Okay, Flappy Rabbit Designs asked, please tell me about your laundry routine. You did it in a video a while back, and I can't remember which one. It wasn't really a laundry routine, but it was the products that I use. Now, the stuff that I use to wash my clothes, you may have never heard of. And I use a product called Amway. Amway is quite similar to Avon. It is not an MLM, maybe it is, but the product is really, really good. And my mum has used it on our clothes for about 20 years. And it is known for not having bulking agents in it. So it is the best possible product for your clothes. I mean, you could do it naturally, and I've looked into how to wash your clothes naturally, but I like my clothes clean, and that involves chemicals, and it is what it is. But the smell of Amway is just amazing. I've started using the powder again. It is quite pricey, but it lasts. There's an all fabric bleach, which I soak my whites in. If I've got stains, I've got a spray. If the stain doesn't come out with a spray, I soak it in this all fabric bleach. It's basically Vanish on acid. I feel like my clothes wash a lot better with that product, but you need to find a local representative in your area. You have to choose someone to then get the order done. I can recommend you a representative if you wish. Just message me, because I would love that commission to go to her, because she's a family friend and does it on the side and is a really lovely woman. But yeah, I'm really fussy about my whites being white. I've had it in the past where like I've washed whites with like semi-light colours, and then my whites are just not bright anymore, they're quite dull. So I'm very, very particular about washing. I'm a bit OCD, I'm a bit particular, and even when it comes to hanging up washing, I'm very OCD. Moon Gal Steph has asked, how did you decide what to get rid of when changing up your wardrobe? Mine is overflowing. I actually think it was quite funny, because my mum stayed with me recently, and I showed her around Norwich, Norfolk and all this. And when we were getting ready in the morning, she's like, is this your wardrobe? And I went, yeah. She's like, God, you've got nothing in your wardrobe. And I was like, well, yeah, I obviously have lost a lot of weight, so I sold a lot of clothes. Still have got some clothes to sell. So that has been a catalyst of rebuilding my wardrobe, because a lot of stuff doesn't fit anymore. But it gave me a kick up the arse to be like, I'm only gonna buy stuff that is good quality, is staples. So it's effectively, I've done a capsule wardrobe with probably a little bit, like a few other extras that I didn't need, but is nice to have and change up. Finding a pair of jeans that fit you and your body shape, I think is a non-negotiable. Jeans, I have never ever found flattering, comfortable, at all desirable until I did my John Lewis shopping experience. I am not savvy in the fashion department. I tend to ask my mum, my sister. In the past, I've asked my friend Helen for just any tips and advice. But until I kind of went and did the John Lewis experience, like I found out about what colours suit me, what body shape I actually have, and what complements that, it's given me confidence. It's up to my self-esteem, having that knowledge and knowing, no, I know that I need to be looking for a barrel style type jean. I know that this brand, although it's expensive, whistles, lasts and washes well, is great quality. Even like some of John Lewis's basics are fantastic. I think I've just got myself in a position where I've got some basic jeans, I've got some go-to tops. The one thing I can take away from my new wardrobe when I look at it is I'm putting basics in there, but good quality basics. And good quality basics don't necessarily have to be expensive. If I like something and I know it's expensive, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait, because something's going to the sale and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Like this top, I really like this top, it's by Hush. I saved like £7 or £5 on it. Had my eye on it since February. I do that with a lot of things. Just make sure that I'm just not constantly buying things because I like them, because I like a lot of things, but do I need them? And I really have to love something to buy it too. Also, lastly, I will say is I do have a shoe, bag and jumper problem. So I've now started the rule that if I go and buy a jumper and I really, really love it, I need to get rid of one that's in my wardrobe. So it's one in, one out. Harsh rule, but essential. Heidi has asked, love a deep dive into your aesthetics experience. I have a love-hate relationship with aesthetics. I think you can get several types of people that go into aesthetics. People that love it and really do have a good eye for it. People that basically just want to get into it and it's for the money. So they will literally say yes to anyone. I've also come across people that are medics and they want to earn a bit of extra cash, so they go into aesthetics, but they don't have the eye for it, in my personal opinion. And then you have people that get into it, because to get into aesthetics, it's so ridiculously easy. And I know that the rules will be changing in a few years' time, I'm sure. There's been a lot of talks about it already. But there are some people that I know that have done the training and they're able to do it in like a day or two. And they haven't felt ready to then just go and inject and offer their services. They've gone and then done training days or multiple training days and are really, really invested in themselves and want to be as confident and offer the best possible service they can. And it's people like that that I really admire, because there are too many people out there offering these services to people that are just so vulnerable, just don't necessarily know how to say no, and maybe don't have their client's best interest. But also you're going to get types of people that are like, I don't care. They're going to ask for the biggest lips, the snatchiest of jawlines, and they're going to be adamant about it. And there are going to be people out there that will do that. But with me, as I've already said in a previous question, I got filler when really I probably should have focused on eating healthier and losing extra weight that I know that I didn't need to carry. I have also spent a good couple of years, and I'm still doing now, photography and videography for aesthetic businesses. So especially over the last couple of years, watching all these procedures, these treatments getting done, you do get curious, you do see the before and after. It can be so flattering, and you want that feeling yourself. You want to look like that. You want to have that experience and that boost of confidence, and you kind of go down the rabbit hole. And I feel like that was probably my downfall, but I don't regret anything that I've had done. It was a time in my life where I liked that look. But yeah, as I started to lose weight, it became a bit more evident and more bulky that it needed to go. If you wanted to know the rundown, I have had my cheeks, my nose, my smile lines, my jaw, my chin, and my lips done. I've literally had everything. I can tell you which one hurt the least and which one hurt the most. Yeah, I can definitely give my opinion on that. I have also had a skin booster or skin boosters before as well, which is still an injectable, but it's not like filler. It is basically injecting skincare and promotes collagen and all those wonderful things to keep yourself looking young, fresh, glowy. That is probably the only thing I will be continuing in my skincare journey. Basically, what I'm working with Dr. Libby is 3 different things to focus on that is going to help me age gracefully. I'm only like 32, so like let's chill out here. My lovely and bestest of friends, Leanna, has asked me, let's get our autism discussion on the cards. Leanna and I are wanting to launch a neurodiverse podcast. She works in a school. I think this summer's going to give us a chance to get some stuff recorded, get all organised and ready to launch. We have already planned the first 4 episodes. We just need to work out how we're going to set it all up and how we're going to do it and orchestrate it. So cannot wait to be doing that with my bestest friend. She is just amazing when it comes to neurodiversity. She can answer any and all questions because she works with children that do struggle with their neurodiversity. Yes, it is a passion that we share. So that's going to be exciting. Maple Tree Puppets has asked me, where do you get your style inspo from? I don't tend to follow trends other than like my Birkenstocks. They are like the slip-on suede ones. And I see so many people wearing them. You know, it's been in fashion for years. But I tend to just do stuff for convenience or comfort. So getting those shoes, I know that I will wear them spring, summer. I wouldn't want to wear them when it's raining, but I would wear them with socks, with dresses. Sometimes I go onto Pinterest and I see, I might be like, I like an item of clothing, but how can I utilize it a bit more? I look on there to see other ideas. But I wouldn't call myself a fashion icon. Like at the moment, I'm wearing like black jeans and a white top with some writing on it. Like, it's not crazy creative. It suits me today. I do ask my mum a lot. So I've had some, if you do follow me on Instagram, you'll see, or TikTok, you'll see the struggle I've had trying to find a wedding guest dress. I've publicly asked for help. And the dresses that I have bought and tried on, this is on TikTok, I've been absolutely rinsed, so that's been fun. But ultimately I asked my mum, I FaceTime her a lot, trying things on. I love that I have that relationship with my mum. I sometimes get advice from my sister. Yeah, if I see something, I'll make it into an outfit if I like it, you know? So I'm sorry that probably wasn't the most exciting answer. KTC94 _ has asked, what are all of your sausages' names? Oh, they're asleep. So I'll put photos here. This is Ralph. He is the youngest. He is going to be 4 this year. And he has a long hair, chocolate dapple. He has got an overbite. We have had problems with his teeth. He has gone to the dentist, the doggy dentist, a fair few times because of his overbite. His 2 bottom spiky teeth have had to have been shaved down because they're making tiny little holes into his soft palate. So he's been through it, but he is my winky boy. I am his favourite and I don't take that for granted. Then you have Kiki, which it's her birthday today whilst I film this, so that's fantastic. Kiki was a rescue. We rescued her in 2018, which was really nice because that was the year my dad passed. So 5 months after my dad passed away. So that was a really lovely distraction, but also really nice to pour your love into like a new puppy. Her and her sister got bought, and then the parents that bought her and her sister decided to go on holiday for 2 weeks and leave those 2 puppies with the kids, and they came back to 2 poorly puppies and they didn't like the stress and they handed them back to the breeder. What I will say about the breeder is that she was a very young girl. It was her first litter and we weren't given the full story on Kiki. First of all, we found out that she wasn't a full dachshund. Further down the line, we think she is part pincer, mini pin. Also, when we got her, she was very, very poorly as the days went on, and we found out that she wasn't wormed properly, so she was riddled with worms. She was tiny. At 10 weeks, she looked like a 6-week-old puppy. She was so, so small. And she had this bloated belly full of worms and was potentially not going to make it. Andrew would sleep with her next to her crate and keep an eye on her, and she was a troubled little puppy. So she is the special one in the family. When we go out on walks, she is quite nervous. She didn't have a great start with all of that in her puppy years. She also got trampled by a spaniel on her first walk, which was out of our control. just someone that can't control their dog and keep them on a lead. Yeah, I don't like people like that. If you can't control your dog, but you know, they're really nice, don't worry about them. I'm like, yeah, but I've got a puppy here. Like, read the room. I don't like dog owners that are like that. So thought I'd put that out there. Oh, Kiki is 6 today, by the way. Then you have our wee little Luna, our angel, the OG. She has had quite a year this year. She was on her own for 6 years before we rescued Kiki. Luna is 11 this year. At the beginning of this year, we found out she had a tumour on her vagus nerve. We got referred to Dick White's in Newmarket, and we were told that it was inoperable. After us being told that she was absolutely fine, they then came back saying, we found something, it happens, that's fine, but it was how we were dealt with, was not great. And yeah, we were told it was inoperable, and we weren't given a time frame, we weren't told what to expect, we were just like, crack on, took our money and kind of left us in the lurch. With us being persistent as we are, more so Andrew when it comes to research, we found Aura in Surrey. They looked at all of Luna's notes after pulling teeth at Dick White's, trying to get all of her information and scans sent to Aura. We're told that it is operable, there's no problems there, but it's going to cost a certain amount. So it ended up going over our insurance by a smidge, and that was fine. Like, if we knew that Luna could live a life that she was naturally going to have, because sausage dogs can live up to like 16, 22, like, you know, they're a small breed, and it is very possible. So if we could afford to do that for her, we're going to do it. So she had the tumour removed. When she was opened up by Laurent, the surgeon, yeah, we found out that the tumour was attached to far more than he would have liked. So although he feels very confident that it's been fully removed, we are not going to find out until she has a scan later this year that we have got the official all clear and it's all gone, because yeah, that tumour was. But yeah, we've got absolutely everything crossed. She is absolutely thriving. She does have a funny eye, which is the catalyst to knowing something wasn't quite right, because Horner's normally resolves itself, but also you tend to see Horner's in bigger breeds. There were a lot of question marks with regards to Luna and what was kind of going on. Other than that, like, her tumour wasn't showing any other symptoms. We're not guaranteed that her eye is going to go back to normal, but there are some days where we wake up and we see both eyes like wide open and functioning well, but as the day goes on, it starts to close and she can't really see through it. It's her third eyelid that comes up. But we're rooting for Luna, the OG. She has just got such a different personality to the other two, and I think it's because she was on her own for 6 years. Sausages are quite bossy, especially the girls. They're very much set in their ways and divas and whatnot, but Luna's something else. She's very much like, no, this is what I want and I'm not going to stop until I get it, and you give in. So probably not the best advice that I should be saying. Luna, she gets what she wants. We give in. So yes, thank you so much for all your questions. I will probably do, maybe in a month's time, another one, but I'm not someone where we'll give one-word answers to questions like this, because I like to elaborate. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well as per, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which I'm sure won't be too long. Bye. See ya. Toots. Can anyone just give me advice on how to end videos? Because I freaking struggle.